All right, folks. Okay. All right, folks. Welcome back. How are we doing here? All right. Okay. Give it another minute here. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. I think this will be a really interesting talk today. If you are a product designer or product developer, this talk is really going to be about getting your product out on Amazon. When I started this journey several years ago, it always seemed kind of like, this kind of like abstract thing, right? Like, big brands like, you think about like brands like Sony, if you needed some headphones, you might go on Amazon, or Belkin if you needed some sort of a charger or something like that. But, I didn't necessarily think about, myself and my own brand, being on Amazon myself. And hang on one second, I'm going to take a quick little pause. I've got part of the fun and joy about doing things so much yourself is that there's always little interesting things that happen, little friendly things and interesting things happen along the way. So I'm going to just take a quick second, get my slides dialed in real quick, and then jump back in here. Let's find out what happened. Let's see. Let's roll with it here. Thank you for your patience, folks. Being the sole entrepreneur is sometimes an interesting experience. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like things are cropping a lot. I don't know why. Give me 1 second while we try to figure that one out. Okay. Well, let's try to troubleshoot this real quick. One second. And then we will get cruising. And all the things that happen at home, everyone is trying to do things like with their passion projects and things like that. And show whole image. And sometimes it's a lot. Scale down. Okay. But just give me a second. We had this all figured out before we stopped this. Copy. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's see. How many people are on board here? Online. We might just restart this one. I think there's one person watching. I think that's me. I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to stop the stream real quick, and then we're going to hop back in. Okay. All right. So we're back. Thank you. Let's just make sure we have audio. Okay. All right. So thanks for holding on here. So this is something I want to talk about for a little bit here is selling on Amazon. And, it used to seem very abstract. I used to see big brands like Sony or Belkin if you needed to buy a phone case or you needed to get your subscription of, paper towels or toilet paper. However, it never felt like that was something that I was doing. It felt like, having my store and, a product in Target or something like that. But I think, a lot of us probably intuitively start to realize that there is something more to getting your product on Amazon, that maybe it might be a little bit easier than you thought it was. And, just case in point, if you go and search, for a term like Insta360 X5 battery charger, right? You get a whole bunch of product results. And I think what's super duper interesting is you see these results, and they all have by their different manufacturers, right? Manufacturers, quotes. So we've got Artman, Simic, YDW, Run Power, etc. But when you look at them, they're really all the same product, and that's interesting. And it just goes to show that it's easy to stand up a brand and get that product on Amazon. And so I'm just want to give folks a little context of how these things get on Amazon. This thing, I went over to our friends at Alibaba, and I actually did that same search. Alibaba is used to source materials and components from China and products from China. I quickly found this same exact product, and here it is. And then I can buy it. I can ship it over to my Amazon account, and I can have Amazon even fulfill them for me. And I can buy them in bulk. I can even have folks custom brand them with my information, my trademarks, my logos. So obviously, it's somewhat straightforward because a lot of people are doing it, and they're putting up things that already exist, and they're just sticking them up on Amazon. Here's my product. This is a product that's been on here for a couple of years in different iterations. And, you can see when you actually have a trademark store, it can be very clean and clear. And so, I just wanted to take folks at a 10,000 foot view today and walk everyone through, what actually it takes to have an idea, have a product, and then physically put that product on Amazon. So the first thing that we need to become familiar with is this idea of Amazon seller. You'll see this logo. It's really interesting because Amazon, it's all blue and white, kind of cheery. The back end of things is just kind of this dark black kind of price tag driven experience. And the first thing, the address you'll want to be familiar with is Seller Central. And this is where you're going to create all your products, create your Amazon account for selling. And just to note, this is not www.sellercentral.amazon.com. That won't go anywhere, just shows up as a dead link. So, the first thing you do is obviously you need to make yourself an Amazon seller account. And there's two ways of doing this. Starting out is one, you can use your Amazon account and link it, or you can use another email address and just start from scratch. Mine, I started from being linked, and in retrospect, I really wish I hadn't. I think it's nice to be able to 100% look at something from the customer perspective, and then if there's someone working on it that shares that same email, it makes it a little easier. They do have these very, very, very granular ability to manage the account. So you can give someone the ability to create a product, the ability to publish a product or change price or things like that. They have those granular features that you can invite a team to, but I just recommend starting from scratch. Just starting off, I would just have all this information just together. Obviously, you got your name. You'll need your driver's license. They want to verify your identity as well as your phone number and your physical mailing address. So you also want to have these things ready, like your checking account, driver's license, routing number. The checking account and routing number, that's how you're going to get paid. And so they'll deposit a small amount in your account to verify your account. Credit card number is there's certain fees associated with selling on Amazon. And so, of course, they want to have a credit card on file to cover those fees. If you're selling and you have enough funds to cover those fees, it won't come off your credit card. They'll just deduct it straight out of your payments. And a bank statement and matching address. And so they want to make sure that the products people are selling are of high integrity and they're legal, and so they want to be able to physically verify your address. So that's why they require a bank statement to have your address, and then they want to see that matching address on your account as well. I think it's really interesting. There's a lot of different categories of products. I think it's really interesting. If you think back to the .com kind of bust, and people were selling everything, and you'll find there's a lot of these like really cheap little tiny products on Amazon, and part of the reason is because they have different categories of products, right? There's kind of this class of products, small and cheap. They charge a reduced fulfilled by Amazon fee, and so I think if things are under $9.99 and under a certain weight, under a certain size, the fulfilled by Amazon cost is really, really low. So it's funny, if you live in one of these major markets, you'll see these, that stereotypical Snickers that you can just buy on Amazon and it shows up on your door the next day. So just a little fun fact, that's why these types of things exist, is because there's this category. I want to give you folks a sense of how much things cost, and here's one of my products. This is a mount that I have. This one's currently retailing for $49. I grabbed this screenshot earlier, but I wanted to walk you through some of the fee structures. There is a lot of fees. There's a platform fee. This is a fee that you pay whether you sell something or not. It's $39.99, or you could pay it on a per sale basis if you're doing, having really small sales. There's a referral fee. This is the cost that Amazon actually takes out of your product for actually selling it. You're giving you the privilege to sell on Amazon. There's a ship to FBA fee. FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. So anytime you see Prime, that's on the merchant seller side of things, that's referred to as FBA. So there's a fee to ship into their warehouses. There's a fee for them to distribute their products to different warehouses. The ship to FBA, and then there's an FBA fee, which is the cost you pay to mail that product out to people. And so I just wanted to high level walk you through some of those, how this looks like on this product. Here's an actual example. So like I said, if you're just starting out, you could just pay that $1 per sale for the platform fee, and they won't charge you. I pay the $39 a month since my sales, I have more sales, and it works out to be a little cheaper that way. And then there's this referral fee. So on this $49 product, I'm paying $7.35, it's right off the top to Amazon. And just to ship it, this is the cost of shipping the product, like your UPS, FedEx, they have a special deal with them. Kind of spread out over 150 units, that works out to about 22 cents each. And then also they have a fee to distribute those units within their network. So right when you're in New York or you're in Chicago, you get things very quick, right? Like the next day. And so there's this placement fee to distribute those things around the network. And then when someone orders something, this is essentially their shipping fee, and that's the fee that you pay Amazon to distribute it on Prime, whether they choose to use UPS or their own carrier. And advertising. Within Amazon itself, you'll often see things like sponsored and things like that. Those are paid placements. You'll find, even if you search my own brand, Xmount 360, you'll find other things that are placed up, preferencing higher on the platform. Even though those things have less to do than my product, people are paying money to have preferred placement on Amazon. Very similar to Google. And it can be really frustrating, and it can also be very costly depending upon the product that you wish to advertise. I mentioned this slightly before. So FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. That's the thing that you see is Amazon comes up as Amazon Prime. And then you also see on the merchant seller side of things, FBM, that stands for fulfilled by merchant. And you have the option to do both. Essentially, if you're doing fulfilled by merchant, you box it up, you mail it out. You help process returns and do customer service if there's issues with the product. This works really good if you have like a very high margin, low volume kind of product, or if you're just starting out and you're not selling that many that frequently and don't want to pay some of the Amazon, warehouse and shipping fees. The downside of things is people really, really, you probably know from your own behavior, really prefer to use Prime. If there's a product that's similar, and people can choose Prime, they'll choose Prime. So unless you have a very unique product, people might go with a different product just because it's easier and they know they're going to get it quickly. And so here's kind of how this product breaks out is if I'm selling something say for $49, the total seller cost to me is about $13, and so effectively I'm paying Amazon in some way, shape, or form 27% of my cost of my product to ship it. And then on top of that, you are also required to factor in returns. The referral fee gets refunded, that 10 to 15% gets refunded. However, they have an admin fee of $5 or 20%, whichever is less. And this is something real, and it's one of those really things that's hard to factor. And you need to run your product and see what people's experiences are with that product. And so part of avoiding having it be so costly is making sure that you are meeting customers' expectations, right? When you're shipping these products, this means having accurate sizing, descriptions, clear photos, making it a very detailed account of what comes with your product, so there's no confusion, and those types of things can help. When you create a product on Amazon, they assign their own product number. It's called an ASIN. You'll see that around a lot. Amazon Seller ID number. However, I would recommend that right off the bat that you go get a UPC code, right? The same UPC code you'd find on any product at any store, in the grocery stores, on virtually anything you buy, that you go and buy one. And what you do is just incorporate that right on your packaging, or you can print it and stick it on your packaging. It's really easy to buy. You can just go to gs1us.org, and it costs $30. And you buy it, you describe it, and then you own that UPC, and then it makes it really easy, especially if you want to take your product to retail in the future. That's just a really, really nice thing to have. So I'm going to pause real quick. I'm not sure. Let's see if there's anyone on the live stream. If there's anyone on here, feel free to ask any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. I don't see anything on the chat at the moment. Welcome, Spirit Monkey 9611. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to just get in really quick to the requirements, and these are just all the things that you want to have together before you can list your product. And these are just the basic attributes that you should probably have off the top of your head. Product title. Brand name, category, if it's like a cell phone case or holder or something like that. Product images, we're going to get into this a little bit more. Your pricing, and the fulfillment method, FBA or FBM, weight, dimensions, what kind of materials it's made out of, where it's manufactured. I always just choose US and it's where it's manufactured. Some key features, maybe 5 to 6, unique identifying bullet points. Those are things that people read right off the bat, and a product description. Now, one thing that I find is my description is more like the title for Amazon, and what is more of my description is more of a synopsis of the product. And what's really important is having very key bullet points to describe attributes of the product. You'll see these really, really, really lengthy titles on Amazon. And part of that is Amazon has gotten to this space where the title is actually driving a lot of the search. So you want to have the very clear attributes of the product packed into that title that describe exactly what it is and what it does, not just like it's a catchy name. So I'm going to toss up an example. I just took the copy of one of my products, and I just wanted to walk you through it. Now, this is something really interesting that depending upon the type of product you're selling, you want to make you want to pay very specific attention to is brands and making sure you're acknowledging other brands appropriately. Otherwise, your product will get taken down. I have a really tricky one and a very aggressive one in particular. I sell a product that's compatible with and for Insta360 products and DJI microphone products. And I've had my listings taken down several times, and I've gotten to this place now where I use this very verbose language to say that it's for Insta360, it's for DJI, it's compatible with, and even if you've said it once, even if it sounds bulky linguistically, pack it in there. Otherwise, brands may it may even get picked up by AI and flag it as a product that is potentially infringing on another trademark. There are other categories, like I found, like cell phone accessories are a little less aggressive about this. Like it's for iPhone 17, but things that are associating with other popular brands like GoPro or Insta360, you need to be very, very specific in your language to explicitly call out that it's compatible with and for those products, and that still even doesn't guarantee that your product won't get pulled down, and it can be take a lot of time to get it posted back up. So it's best to just be exquisitely careful the first time around, just to make sure that doesn't happen, because it can be very painful. And I've almost wanted to just delete products and just start again from scratch because it can be so painful. So real quick, I'm going to just check in on our live stream, folks, and see if anyone has any comments. I think we're doing good. Welcome. We've got a couple people joining us now. I just wanted to talk a little bit about product images. Product images are really, really important, both to describe your product and also to make sure it doesn't get taken down. So I do my photography, and then I do my Amazon touch-ups and my Amazon photography. One really important thing is, I always do like a what's included picture, and this helps set people's expectations and also helps decrease returns because I make it very, very, very clear what's included and what's not, and if it's not in this picture, it's not going to get shipped in the box. And so I always do a picture like this, and this goes along with what I said earlier, that if you're selling a product that is compatible with another product, for instance, this one that's compatible with DJI and Insta360, I cannot put an image like this. What I need to do is I need to touch it up, and I do all my dust removal, scratch removal. They care very little about AI as long as the actual product itself is represented and represented fairly. And so you can see I've removed the Insta360 logo and the DJI logo. And then also I've kind of changed the opacity on those products and removed some of the physical characteristics where it looks like a more general product. And I'm still in my language saying, compatible with. So yeah, those are things that, I think at a really high level is, one, just gather up all your information. If you are working with associating with a brand, be very clear on what that that it's an association by using terms like compatible or for, and prep your photography beforehand. And I think this is something that just is something that I feel deeply about, is sell things that have value. And, if you're creating a product from scratch, right, that I can't go and buy on Alibaba and then flood the markets on Amazon, I can do well if it's something that people really, really want. And so that's what I've done is I like, low volume, high margins. I like to spend a lot of time being able to market my product, position my product, make sure my product is of the highest quality. And then I might test it out, and if it's selling well on Fulfilled by Merchant, I might send it in to Amazon FBA, and that's nice because when you go on vacation, it puts that on autopilot. I just had an instance where I went on vacation with my family to Maui, and I left some of the parts at home, and so I had to wait on fulfilling a couple of my personal website orders. And that doesn't happen on Amazon if you have everything in FBA. So those I think are my top advice and steps for selling on Amazon. It's not as difficult as you think. You can get a lot of things done in the afternoon just to get it up there, and you can start selling. And it's really a deep rabbit hole. Like you could trademark your brand, and once you have a brand trademark, you can have your own little mini website on Amazon. And then it looks much cleaner. But really, it's not hard. And so if you have an idea and you have a product, I don't think it's ever been easier to fabricate those products, to package those products, to create really awesome and compelling copy and photography, especially being assisted by AI. So I think folks really should feel empowered to explore making their passion project into a passion business on Amazon. All right, please feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. All right, appreciate you folks.